Okay, so today is, I'm losing track of the dates, but I believe it's the 15th. It is Friday. We are obviously in the shipyard, and this is a update from the last, I think about 3 weeks worth of progress. So we've been, the carpenters from the interior has been here and installed the lower guest we'll get to soon, which has allowed the electricians to start wiring out the rooms a little bit more thoroughly, and a lot of pipe works going on and overheads. So all of the metal ceiling overheads have been happening these 3 weeks. As you can, one telling difference from here, I thought I would not change the habit and just start at the beach club again. But we do have the penetrations in here for the sink, because all of the excuse me, all of the domestic plumbing and all of the plumbing is now moved back into the garage area. So that's all getting rung now. Because the interior is now installed in the lower guest areas, the accesses where we're leaving open through the garage and through the engine room have been fully closed off. As you can see, this was a big access area on the last update. That's been welded up, Lloyd's approved, and the pre-made framing is now all ready for the finished sober screen. So that is on. We've got the compressed air piping going on through the boat right now. The compressor itself is staying well out the way. We've built a platform down here for the compressor, so there will be a big receiver, air receiver, the other side in the rudder room, and this is the line coming down from that. So it'll be a filtered line going through the ship. It supplies the horn and basically the outlets for filling up fenders. So we have fenders we have the line going all the way to the chain locker and to the flybridge. The chain locker, so you can blow up your fenders locally if needed. We have one going onto the starboard side main entry in the cupboard where the fresh water is, so in case you wanted to blow up fenders there or need an air chuck there. We are also supplying the big sea chests to blow out the jellyfish with the compressed air also. And we've got a line coming over to this is the tool workbench area with the toolbox underneath, and you'll have a compressed air line there that you pull out, a retractable one on a reel that will service the engine room and the garage. Since the last one, we've also got the steering pipes in. So there's 2 stainless steel and there's 2 copper lines. The stainless steel are the pressure lines, and because these go all the way to the flybridge helm, and you have to, with this steering system, it's a jazz stram, you have to pump oil to that continuously as the system is running, so you don't get an airlock up there. So if you do lose power and you have to kick on automatically with the manual steering, there would be no airlock up there. So these are very low pressure, the 2 copper ones. So that's the 4 lines going up here, and they actually go all the way through the engine room, the guest area, and they are currently exiting in the doghouse. Also, we got the grey water pipe. This is going to the grey water tanks right here. So we've got one going to the washing machine, so the washing machine doesn't dump directly overboard. And we've got this other one which will go to the beach club, all the way to the penetration that I just shown you through the deck. So this is the garage taking shape. Oh, we've also started, we had to, you can't see it, but during the day we got a welder back there welding the foundations in for the steering cylinders. So the steering system will be able to be Basically the plan is it'll be plug and play once all the cylinders are in, the reservoir's in. So I'm not sure if you can tell by the voice, the atmosphere completely changes in here because of the floating bulkhead and all of the insulation we've put in. But with that access is also closed. The floating frame is installed, the other side of it. This one is just sitting out of position right now, but that is your hydraulic systems reservoir, mainly for the bow thruster right now. So that will fit over here. Clearly they're keeping it out the way for the electricians. I believe they've got all these to go down, and they're going to go, some of those are going into the bottom of the electrical panel. So we can see down here what it means to see all the flange connections. This is a discharge pipe, which we do have here, and we built that in the factory in China, so we do have to weld the flange to the shaped fitting in place. So that will do that once we start doing the sea chest, which is also here, but we've still got to get this out the way. Next part is to put the blue sober screen on the wall right here, and then the SCR can go up in its place right here, and then we could start doing all of the sea chest and the pipe work down here. So another clue to those that have eagle eyes is all of this pipe work, which is the air conditioning system, is now going in. So all these are getting fed through the boat, through the guest area, which we'll see very shortly. They will come down. Let me try and back up without falling down. They will go into this cage, this framework, and you've got the two chillers right here. They actually connect right into these fittings right there. You've got the big one is 5/8 copper, which is gas, and the smaller 1/2 inch is return, is the liquid. So as we walk through the interior, we'll see where all of these are going. Right. Off the boat, we are also making up, we've got 4 tanks down here that hold the solution for the IMO Tier 3 exhaust system to reduce the NOx. So those are getting made off site right now. The back deck, you can see this is the hanging frame for the aluminum that our finished ceiling will attach to. So this one is getting welded in. We have actually completed all of the ceiling through the interior, but this was made removable. So once it was all dry fit, we could take it off and get it painted, which is where it's at the moment. And that allowed the installation crew to come in and install all the installations. I think they're a little over 80% done now on all this installation. And in the meantime, while it's down, you'll start to see a lot of these pipes. These are the air conditioning pipes that you saw in the engine room. These two go up. We've got 6 fan coils in this overhead, 3 per side, and 2 of these main lines will feed 3 fan coils. So right now, that one, they are just, as you can see, it's kind of fragile pipe because it's soft copper. So you've got to give it big sweeping bends so you don't kink the copper inside. And we got this material directly from the air conditioning supplier. So basically this is what it is. You've got, this is the 1/2 inch copper, so this will be the liquid line with the insulation on it. And right now our guys are running everything. So all the hose that you see, and you'll see it going all the way forward as I go through the video, there are no connectors whatsoever in this. So this end here, the other end of that's a continuous run all the way down to the engine room that you just saw. And this is the same on all of these. So, and we're able to run the main trunk all the way to the branch lines, which is where there's a T and it branches off. So we've completely minimized any possible leakage through the boat by running this as one continuous length. So up here, all of the drains, but I think those have been in for a little while, so I think you might have saw those on the last update. So this, once the insulation is fully on here, and we've ran our hoses, because as I say, there's no, we can't feed these through a tight area. We got to have big sweeping loops. So that's another reason why we took off or made this frame removable. But as soon as these are in and the insulation, at that point we can put this floating overhead ceiling back in, and you'll get a real big feel for the space right now. At that point, sorry. So the big change that I know you saw us doing the floor and all of the bulkheads arriving in the last update video. Well, the carpenters have actually been off the boat for 2 weeks now. So this got finished 2 weeks ago. So this is the foyer. So we'll have a nice cabinet there, and some decorative decor up there, and even the atmosphere down here, just with everything still not finished off, no ceiling, no nothing, just the atmosphere. I'm not sure if it comes over through the audio with me talking, but you can feel a difference in the atmosphere. And this is the starboard aft cabin, which is the one that is the most filled out that you see in the updates from the factory. But the reason why there is a method to the way we do it, obviously there is no furniture boxes in here at the moment, because this gives a full wide open space for all of our plumbing. That's the size of a roll for the AC plumbing. That's why we can run it a full length all the way down. And we've ran it all the way through this interior because we didn't want to install it too early because it's a little fragile. So basically our guys, you can see it all up here, it's all getting installed now. So it is all getting run through the bulkheads with pre-prepared the running space for it. But the reason why we install the walls and everything just as it is right now is to give access. We can have a plumber in here working on the AC system. We've got the electricians over by the door. All of these doors will have the DC distribution box right above it. So if you have any issues with the DC distribution, that's the lights, any switches, the USB, it can be traced back to this. And so the electricians are working over here and they're running. We've also got wires getting run through the wall. This is the 110 for the TV. The TV box will go into the cabinet. This hole is behind the TV, so the plug will come down and everything plugs in inside the cabinet. So those are all pre-made, and See the, not sure if you can see, but the pipes are already run. The wire just runs straight down the pipes. It's that easy to wire out. So not having any of the bed and the nightstands and the dresser gives, we could put more people in here basically, and we can get a lot more work done. And obviously they're not using the nightstand as a tool bench or a ladder. So that's the next stage down here would be to put all the boxes in once all the plumbing and electrical is finished. You can see the electrician, he'll pull, now he's working on the DC junction box, he'll pull the wires down here. You've got 2 light switches, you've got the one bunk light and the overhead lights for this side of the bed, and a USB charger, and on the other side you'll have the same. It will be this local overhead light for the reading light, and the full overhead, and a USB. And then he's just got to run his wire. We've already pre-cut his chase all the way down, and he knows to bring his wire out there for the AC fan coil. You can see just down there the drain's already in for the same fan coil. Well, we are putting all of these fan coils in our own tray that we're draining, and all of those trays are made and been painted, so we should be able to start installing the fan coils very soon. So, ooh, I keep forgetting to give you a view of the space down here. So obviously this is the duplicate. We are just hooking up our external air conditioning to pump some cooled air in here. So they're working on that right now. I think this will be up and running for my big system outside by the end of the day. But you can see how I fit up in the windows were very, very tight. And these 2 lines here, so these again, the AC lines coming up. These are the 2 that you saw upstairs going all the way to the flybridge. We started with the longest, so these 2 you're all the way through into the cruise quarters continuously with no connection, no break, nothing. Continuous hose all the way from the crew lounge area to where you've just seen in the engine room by the compressor. So bathrooms, we did get the plumber is now happy. Everything fits where it's supposed to inside the wall. So there's still testing going on. That's why you don't see insulation on certain things. And plumbing for the shower already here. The trays have already been 3D printed, and they are here in the factory. So they're a little more fragile, so I don't want to put them in until we got all the connections ready to connect everything, and then I will put a piece of wood to protect everything right over the top. Your closets, this is your access that you saw many times down to the stabilizer actuator. So another thing to show you what we're doing also, we have our QC guy going through the entire boat. Now everything you can see here, everything is getting chock-a-block with between the wire trays, the copper pipe, the stainless pipes, the hoses. Our QC guy is now going through and making sure, where's my hand? We've got full access underneath. These aren't secured yet, they've got to go up. But making sure there is no binding on anything, anywhere. So, these are all just tie wraps for now, but they will get, once everything is ran and in nice and clean, we will change out the tie wraps for proper hangers. So we've got QC going on at the moment, and again back in the starboard aft stateroom, the steering pipes are also coming through here. So they do a big loop, a big turn to here, and then pretty much go on center line here all the way up to the doghouse. Again, our guys making sure everything is not touching, everything has space between it. Admittedly, it's not going to be much space, but it will have space. And then this is where they all disappear out up to the doghouse right here, which we'll see in a minute. As I say, these aren't clamped yet. And in the VIP room, this is the compressed air we're putting in right now, which is going all the way to the chain locker, but it does branch off here to go to the starboard side entry. So this is a nice look at the VIP. And again, the plumbing has all been adjusted now to fit inside our grooves, which we know is in exactly the right position. And it's a little dark in here, but so now this is where the holes that you saw in the floor video are coming up for the this is the head under toilet, goes in the center. This simply gets a 90 on it, goes straight into it. This goes to the adder valve, which regulates the flush when you press the flush, which will be attached to the bulkhead inside of the pipe box that we're going to build there. So you got easy access to that, and then feeds the head under toilet with the freshwater flush. So that is the big update from the guest area. And it may not look like it right now, but that is the doghouse. So those are the steering pipes coming up right there. I'll go the long way around so you can get a good view. And the crew area, we've had some of the plumbing going on. Obviously, as I mentioned, the AC hoses, but also the electricians have been down here. So they started working on the first AC distribution panel. Number 1 has gone in. There'll be a DC panel down below it as well. And these are the 2 AC lines. Once again, I'm all the way forward, and that is non-stop to the engine room. So this panel is, I think it was wired up in the last update, but this is the C-zone panel. So all of your C-zone tank monitoring system, bilge monitoring system, everything goes into that. And then over here we have a flat panel, and this is where your display, this is for your display coming from that panel. So for right now, we've got the AC guy down here, we got the copper guy running his lines, and we got the electrician down here. Everything is ready in the doghouse now to add. We've got 3 more electrical panels that are ready to go up onto this framework. I had discussions with the electrical engineer this morning, and we went over the 3D model and the plans, and so he knows exactly what he needs to do with that. So there's no, there was one change up on the wheelhouse, which had the change actually, not the wheelhouse, the flybridge, because we had a center beam here the naval architect put a center beam on there, but that doesn't work too well with my helm unit. So this is the emergency backup helm unit too, so it's extra long. So we've re-foundationed everything to support the load and be able to get our helm unit in there. Then the pipes will come up as hoses at this point through here. And right below there were the pipes, the hard pipes that you saw coming up. So I'll wander out to the fly bridge, but not too much has happened up here. We did have some visa issues getting our painters back, but we have, I believe, I'm told from the head guy, we had some arrive today in Haiphong, and the rest will arrive early next week. So the painting will start to commence, and up here they'll put the primer on, and then everything should be white and beautiful. Very, very shortly. I'd say that'll take about a week to get this all in white primer, and the welds addressed. So they will start gung-ho. Pretty much, I think there's a crew of 14 coming in. We got 14 visas, and we have 12 Vietnamese crew. So pretty soon we should have 26 painters all coming up here to knock this out. And for those with the CCTV access, we did have a bit of issue over the last few weeks, but hopefully next week, hopefully they're back online now, but next week you should start seeing from the cameras all this becoming white and beautiful. But they are going to have to build up the scaffolding. We've just got a little extra scaffolding in the shipyard now, so that has to come up another level, and then we have to put a tent over this whole thing. At that point, obviously we're going to have to reposition the CCTV cameras so you can see inside the tent. But those are the next stages. So for now, that is the update from the factory. I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.